I won 7 out of 10 trades last month. Lost $12,000. My friend won 4 out of 10. Made $38,000. Let me explain why he's professional and I was still amateur. Because here's the brutal truth most traders never learn. Being right doesn't pay your bills. Math does. And the difference between those two things is everything. Everyone obsesses over win rate. What's your percentage? How often are you right? Show me your accuracy. It's the wrong question. I spent 2 years chasing a 70% win rate. Know what happened? I went broke. Twice. Not because I was wrong often, because when I was wrong, I was catastrophically wrong. And when I was right, I closed too early. You see, there's a trap that catches 90% of amateur traders. I call it the accuracy addiction. It works like this. Your ego needs to be right. Being wrong feels like failure. So you optimize for one thing: win rate. You take profits early to lock in the win. You hold losers hoping they'll come back so you don't have to admit you were wrong. You avoid high probability setups because the stop loss is too big. And slowly, quietly, you build a perfect track record of being right while your account bleeds to death. Because here's what nobody tells you. The market doesn't reward accuracy. It rewards expectancy. And expectancy, that's pure math. Let me show you something that changed my entire trading career. It's called the Expectancy Formula. It looks like this. Expectancy equals win rate multiplied by average win minus loss rate multiplied by average loss. Sounds complicated? It's not. Let me break it down with real numbers. Trader A, 70% win rate. Average win, $150. Average loss, $400. Let's calculate. 0.7 times 150 equals $105, minus 0.3 times 400 equals $120. Expectancy, negative $15 per trade. Trader A is right 70% of the time and loses money every single trade on average. Now Trader B, 40% win rate. Average win, $600. Average loss, $200. Calculate. 0.4 times 600 equals $240. Minus 0.6 times 200 equals $120. Expectancy, positive $120 per trade. Trader B is wrong 60% of the time and makes $120 every trade on average. Same market, different math, different bank account. This is the paradox. You can be right and go broke, or be wrong and get rich. The only thing that matters is the math. So how do you escape the accuracy trap? You install what I call the RR Dominance Protocol. RR stands for Risk to Reward Ratio. And here's the rule that saved my career. Never enter a trade where your risk to reward is less than 1 to 2. Translation: if you risk $100, you must target at least $200. If you risk $1, target $2 minimum. Ideally, 1 to 3 or better. Here's why this works. Even with a 40% win rate, if your RR is 1 to 3, you're profitable. Let me prove it. 10 trades. Risk $100 each. Target $300 each. You win 4. You lose 6. Wins. 4 times 300 equals $1,200. Losses. 6 times 100 equals $600. Net profit, $600. 40% accuracy. Still profitable. Because the math works. Now here's the mental shift that has to happen. You have to be willing to be wrong more than you're right, and be completely okay with it. This is where most traders break, because being wrong feels like failure, even when the math says you're winning. So here's the protocol. Before any trade, you ask 3 questions. Question 1. What's my risk? Exact dollar amount. No guessing. Question 2. What's my reward? Minimum target. Must be at least double the risk. Question 3. Is this RR worth the probability? If the setup is 50-50, 1 to 2 isn't enough. You need 1 to 3. If any answer is unclear, you don't take the trade. Period. This is how you shift from ego-driven trading to math-driven trading. From being right to being rich. Let me tell you about the 2 trades that taught me this lesson the hard way. Trade 1, March 15th, ES Futures. Perfect bull flag. I enter long at 41.20. My analysis says it's going to 41.60. That's a 40-point move. I'm sure about this. Stop loss, 20 points. Risk, $100. Reward, $200. 1 to 2 RR. Not great, but acceptable. Trade goes my way immediately. Hits 41.40. I'm up $100. My ego whispers, take it. Lock in the win. You'll be right. I close. $100 profit. Win rate preserved. Price continues. Hits 41.60 exactly. Then 41.80. Then 4,200. I left $300 on the table because I needed to be right. Now trade 2, same day, 3 hours later. Price pulls back. I see another entry, this time at 41.70. My analysis? Same target, 4,200. 30-point reward. Stop loss? I think, it won't go against me much. I'll keep it tight, 10 points. Risk, $50. Reward, $150. 1 to 3 RR. Looks good on paper. I enter. Price immediately spikes down. Hits my stop in 40 seconds. $50 loss. Then, price reverses. Goes exactly where I thought. Hits 4,200. I got stopped out on noise because my stop was too tight for the volatility. So let me summarize. Trade 1. I was right about direction. Closed too early. Made $100 instead of $300. Trade 2. I was right about direction. Stop too tight. Lost $50. Net for the day, plus $50. 2 correct calls, barely profitable. My friend? He took 1 trade that day. Risk, $200. Reward, $700. 1 to 3.5. He was in for 6 hours. Price chopped. He didn't move his stop. Didn't take early profit. Just waited. Hit his target. $700 profit. He was right once. I was right twice. He made 14 times more money. That's when I understood. This isn't about being right. It's about letting the math work. But here's what nobody tells you about this paradox. Your brain is wired to care about accuracy, not expectancy. There's actual neuroscience behind this. It's called the certainty bias. Your prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, understands probability and math. It gets that 40% win rate with 1 to 3 RR is profitable. But your amygdala, the emotional part, only sees, I was wrong 6 times. I was right 4 times. I'm a failure. The amygdala doesn't do math. It does feelings. And losing feels bad, even when the loss is part of a winning system. This is why most traders can't execute high expectancy systems, because the emotional pain of being wrong 60% of the time is greater than the logical satisfaction of being profitable. Your ego wants validation. The market offers money. You have to choose. Here's how professional traders think. Every trade is a bet in a casino where they are the house. The house doesn't win every hand, but the house always wins over time because the math is in their favor. You're not trying to be right. You're trying to have positive expectancy over 100 trades. 1 trade? Doesn't matter. 10 trades? Still noise. 100 trades? Now the math shows up. This is the identity shift. From, I need to be right, to, I need the math to work. And when you make that shift, losing stops hurting. Because a loss isn't failure, it's an expense, like rent. You pay it, you move on. Winning stops feeling like victory. It's just the math playing out. And that detachment, that's when you become professional. So here's your exercise. I call it the Losing Winner Spreadsheet. You're going to prove to yourself that accuracy doesn't matter. Here's how. Step 1. Open a spreadsheet. 3 columns. Win rate, average RR, expectancy. Step 2. Run these scenarios over 100 trades. Risk $100 per trade. Scenario A, 70% win rate, 1-to-1 RR, meaning you risk 100, you make 100. Calculate. 70 wins at $100 equals 7,000. 30 losses at 100 equals 3,000. Net, 4,000 profit. Scenario B, 40% win rate, 1-to-3 RR. Risk 100, make 300. Calculate. 40 wins at 300 equals 12,000. 60 losses at 100 equals 6,000. Net, 6,000 profit. Scenario B beats Scenario A, even though you're wrong more often. Now do this for every combination. 50% at 1-to-2, 60% at 1-to-1.5, 30% at 1-to-5. You'll see the pattern. RR dominates win rate every single time. Step 3. Take your last 50 trades. Calculate your actual expectancy, not what you think it is, what it actually is. Most traders are shocked. They think they're profitable because they're right a lot. Then they run the numbers and realize they're break-even or slightly negative. This exercise kills the ego and wakes up the math brain. Do this once. You'll never obsess over win rate again. So here's the truth you have to accept. You can be right 70% of the time and die broke. Or you can be wrong 60% of the time and retire early. The market doesn't care about your accuracy. It cares about your math. Your ego wants to be right. Your account wants positive expectancy. You choose. If you're still celebrating when you guess correctly, you're not a trader. You're a gambler with a good night. If you're still devastated when you're wrong, even though your system is profitable, you're still letting ego drive. The question is, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Because you can't optimize for both. Oh, and if you just watched 16 minutes about math and didn't skip, you're not like most traders. Most traders want the secret indicator, the holy grail setup. You just sat through expectancy formulas because you understand. Edge isn't in the setup. It's in the execution. That's the second winning attitude. See you in episode 3.